Good afternoon, everyone. It's Wednesday, which means anyone may join today's live stream, but only members may comment. I wasn't mouth-breathing Irving. Maybe I was. I don't know. I'm trying to work this out, but thank you, everybody, for joining me. We have a lot of interesting stuff to talk about today. I'm so delighted that we have a good Ben Affleck story because I think we all want to see Ben Affleck, like Keanu Reeves, come out on top. Hey, JLR17. I also saw somebody else joined earlier. Let's see. I'm going to go look. Hold on. Angel finally joined. Angel was one of the people I took to see Zombieland. So yes, thank you everybody for joining today. We have 3 excellent stories. And then, of course, as always, the final 10 minutes of the stream are you may ask me anything that you would like. Daniel, I'm glad you made a stream today. Daniel's from the UK. And the way that we start every stream, public or just for members, is I like to see where everybody's streaming from. And I have to say, some people watched this afterwards and wrote in the comments where they were watching from, which I thought was really nice. So where's everybody streaming from today? Let's see here. Portis 2 is in Athens, Greece on a business trip. Oh, I like that. Sir Charles is on the East Coast enjoying the sunset. Yes, that's right. Look, the sun's setting kind of behind me. Mexican 8 Nacho says hello from a job interview. Oh, well, we're all rooting for you. Tell them that you have a bunch of people rooting for you right now. Let's see here. Hey, Flamebird. That's a cool logo or avatar. Irving, you're in Beverly Hills? Very nice. Nicole's at work in Toronto. Rachel's in dreary Tulsa. Well, we'll make it more fun for you. Reed, you're getting the new Popeyes chicken sandwich in Chicago? Be careful. I really want to try it. I mean, I like a party, and everyone's getting this chicken sandwich. I got to find a Popeyes and go get one. Let's see here. Tom's already tucked in the Netherlands for the evening. Let's see here. Oh, Redeem's in the Czech Republic as usual. My family's from the Czech Republic. You know, like my ancestors. Andrew's in the Baltimore airport on the way to Florida. Well, Daniel is in Serbia. Let's see here. Sergeant, you guys are going by fast today. Sergeant Simek is watching from work. Kiri's in Louisiana, also in bed. It's cold in Denver, says Carlos, at 28. Charlie also is looking for a Popeyes. Let's see here. I didn't see the Chris Evans Billy on the street, but it looked funny. I like that Paul Rudd was on there as well. Billy Eichner must have been having a great day. And Zeester's in bed in Kuwait. Oh, it's very late for you, Zeester. All right, everybody. One last one. Baijo is staying up late in India. Well, that's awesome. See, it's so cool to have so many people watching from across the globe. All right, so we're going to get to today's 3 stories. And then, as I said, at the final 10 minutes of the stream, you may ask me anything that you would like. Hey, Jackbird. All right, so story number 1. Bam. So it was announced on Monday, actually. I was out on Monday. I did those episodes late on Sunday. And so I was like, please don't have anything big happen when I'm not at my desk. Please don't do that to me. And when this story first broke, I was like, damn it! But it wasn't a particularly big story. It never even trended. If I were Warner Brothers, then that's where Warner Brothers should be like, damn it. So they made the announcement on Wizarding World. I think that they didn't have any cool visuals. They should have had a visual, don't you think? They should have had something more interesting. But they were just like, yeah, don't worry, we didn't quit. We're still making it. I guess it's a little similar to the Ant-Man 3 announcement where they're like, yes, this is still a thing. You didn't kill it, even though it's it's not doing so great. So they said, we're making Fantastic Beasts 3. They're telling everybody they're going to make 5. I'm hearing that if this one doesn't do well, they're going to cut it down to 4. I think they shouldn't have made any of these, quite frankly. I like that, Irving. You're right. Another flop. I mean, everybody just wants to see the story of Dumbledore and Grindelwald, and they're supporting characters, at best, in their own story. It's so stupid. We're focused on this foursome, and Eddie Redmayne, I think, as an actor, just didn't work out, quite frankly. Andrew says, I'm a huge Potterhead, and I didn't even hear about this, because nobody really talked about it. So, if they had just Jude Law and Johnny Depp, although I think Johnny Depp's having trouble, so I don't know if that would work. But, just their forbidden romance and battle, I think everybody would be all over that. But instead, they're like, who's Ezra Miller's character? And everyone's like, I don't care. All right, so anyway, I even forgot about Ezra Miller's character, that big cliffhanger until the end just right now. All right, so anyway, They also announced, the reason I have that woman with the purple hair there is her name is Jessica Williams. And she apparently was in the last movie. And I don't remember her at all. Okay, but she played a professor at Ilvermorny, which of course is the American School of Witchcraft. So I'm like, yeah, you're right, Mika. J.K. Rowling, Kevin Tsujihara signed her to that contract, and he was like, he just wanted to keep the franchise going. I guess, careful what you wish for. But anyway, she's going to be having a larger role apparently, and that's why that's an older photo of her with J.K. Rowling. But I don't even remember her having any role. But, I'm glad they're bringing more diversity to the world of Harry Potter. But, they said they were doing that last time, and the people of color had very small roles. So you're like, did you really? Anyway, I really feel, as we've discussed before, I told you I also heard that Warner Brothers was chasing Cursed Child. I really feel that Warner Brothers should just I think, even if it's not the Cursed Child story, because a lot of people, from what I hear, I thought it was entertaining, but I know a lot of people don't like it. I would just do something that reunited the original threesome of Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint. They're not really working, to be honest, right? I mean, Emma Watson's this close to turning into Gwyneth Paltrow with her self-partnered comment the other day. And so I would get them, I would put them together in a movie, and that's what I would do. I think that's what they should, I think that's the obvious move. But anyway, no, they're going to continue following Newt Scamander and the adventures that no one cares about. I did like that one line where he was okay with he couldn't turn his back on a monster, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good. Where's that idea been this whole time? So anyway, they're going to start filming in spring 2020 for a November 2021 release. Steve Kloves is coming back to help script because clearly J.K. Rowling doesn't know what she's doing. So at least Warner Brothers is, talked her down from writing it herself. And the most exciting news, you can see I have a postcard up there, a vintage postcard from Rio de Janeiro. That's fantastic. I would have loved to have seen, I'll take any character in an outfit in Rio de Janeiro in maybe the 1930s at this point. That would be amazing. I'm also curious, of course, very much so, Grindelwald's group is supposed to be like the magic version of Nazis. So a lot of Nazis, of course, went to South America to hide out after World War II. So I'm wondering if that's going to be maybe the context for taking the action to Brazil. I'm sure Brazil's like, whoa, we don't really need you to put us in that perspective, quite frankly. But we'll see. They're like, Brazil has so many other things going for it. I'm just excited. I think Brazil is a fabulous choice. I mentioned it to some friends of mine. I was like, they're making Fantastic Beasts 3. And they're like, whatever. And I was like, it's in Brazil. And they were like, I probably will watch that. So we'll see. I also thought it was interesting that they have a similar cast to the Batman. Colin Farrell, first Zoe Kravitz came over and now Colin Farrell. And I don't know why anybody would be like, let's get the Fantastic Beasts cast back together, because it never clicked. So that's a little bit concerning to me. Every studio now at this point, Warner Brothers is, I do have thumb holes today. Warner Brothers has always been a little bit more loyal than everyone else. But, I think Disney has been reusing some of the same people more often. But Warner Brothers is particularly loyal. Although for some of these actors, I'd be like, well, I wouldn't want them on your team. Okay, Warner Brothers, a very easy team to get on and to stay on. All right, we're going to talk. Warner Brothers will circle back to the end of this conversation with the Ben Affleck story. All right, so that's the first story of the day. The second story of the day, which is still trending because it's also Slow News Day. I thought it was pretty mean. Colin Firth and Matthew Macfadyen are trending as for who's the better Mr. Darcy. And Matthew Macfadyen, who I think has really resurrected his career, and is actually, I think, in some ways more popular than he has ever been as Tom on Succession. He's so good. But I'm like, that's kind of mean to Matthew Macfadyen, and he's really great. He's not even trending. I feel bad for him. So anyway, what's also trending, of course, is James Dean. Mika pointed out Fred Astaire with the vacuum. That's right. That's where this started. Audrey Hepburn had like a Hershey bar or something right on a bus. Chris Evans, he kind of looks a little like James Dean. I think he's a little bit, to be honest, a little bit more, let's say, bulkier, muscular than James Dean. Chris Evans, by the way, I think it was Regal had a tweet today, and they were like, respond with a gif of what actor or what celebrity you have a crush on. And Chris Evans was dominating that discussion. Okay? There's so many Chris Evans gifs. I was like, wow, why doesn't he do better outside of Marvel? Why does no one go and see his movies? He's like, you guys better see Knives Out. We'll see how big his role is. All right, so anyway, James Dean is being resurrected. He died tragically in 1955, too soon. He was actually in a car race, a little bit like what happened, the fictional thing in Back to the Future. So he was in a car driving very quickly. Another car came out, killed him. 1955. He was like that's one of the reasons that he is so iconic. It's like Marilyn Monroe, Heath Ledger. There's always the question of what could have been if he had survived. Now you're going to find out. He would have, gone the route of Nicolas Cage, apparently, because he's now going to be digitally resurrected for the most ridiculous movie ever. All right, so CMG Worldwide represents Dean's family alongside more than 1,700 entertainment, sports, music, and historical personalities. So CMG's whole business is dead people. And I think in the past, they had a corner on the market because they were like, you couldn't really do amazing things, right? You could do a couple commercials here or there. Your likeness would be used sparingly, right? But they also represent Burt Reynolds, Christopher Reeve, Ingrid Bergman, Neil Armstrong, Betty Davis, and Jack Lemmon. Hey, Make. And so they said in the interview, they were like, this is fantastic for our clients because we're going to be able to resurrect more celebrities. Now, to me, if I were another talent agency, one of the big ones, CAA, William Morris, I'd be like, look, if we've finally gotten to this level where talent is going to be resurrected, let's start our own division where we will look after people more carefully and their legacies. Because to me, as I tweeted, the most insulting thing about this is the movie they've put him in. Something that James Dean would never appear in. It's just absolutely horrible. Like, for instance, if someone said to you, for instance, Martin Scorsese, who of course is in the news, someone said, Martin Scorsese would like to put James Dean in his movie. You'd be like, tell me more. What would be the role be? What's Marty thinking? Because you trust Martin Scorsese, right? He's going to have a long monologue about how comic book movies suck. You'd be like, Marty, let it go. But anyway, I think with the right talent, you might allow it, right? I thought that it was done very tastefully in Star Wars, quite frankly. Hey, Smolder 7. I thought it was very tasteful in Star Wars Rogue One when they had, the General and Leia. And I thought in Blade Runner, when they brought back Sean Young, I thought that worked. And as I said in my Dr. Sleep review, I thought there was an opportunity for it there. I think I would use this technology for actors to reprise roles only, or for like fun cameos. I think that might be nice. Whatever gets people interested in, that's how, I gotta tell you, if I were an agent and I wanted to get my hands on this money, I would say, I'm going to get today's audiences interested in classic film. That's how I would position it. Not this. So Sean was like, what's the movie? Tell me what the movie is. All right. So James Dean, Ramon. I think James Dean was an okay actor. But anyway, Mika, I don't know. James Dean kind of is an LGBT icon. I don't think that he was. The thing about James Dean is I don't know if he was like legit LGBT. There was some rumors that he only really kind of like was willing to sleep around with anyone to get work. So I think that's one of the reasons the LGBT community hasn't fully embraced him, which I think is understandable. Anyway, this is a movie being produced by a company called Magic City, which no one's ever heard of because they're horrible. It's basically like Millennium Entertainment, the people that Mel Gibson always makes movies with. If they were like, let's make a James Dean movie, you'd be like, no. So anyway, this is a movie that takes place during the Vietnam War, which I think is weird because that's not even in James Dean's, era. So you're putting James Dean in an era he wouldn't have belonged in. So it's in the Vietnam War, and it's a movie about abandoned military dogs during the Vietnam War. And you're like, James Dean would never be in this movie. So I think that it's very important to protect the legacy. I saw a lot of people tweeting today that actors will have to add into their wills, don't put me in anything. But I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think they're going to be like, put me in something, because I think people worry about their family, and I think they're going to be like, well, let's protect my legacy. And I think they're probably going to put stipulations on the kind of material that they can be included in. Because James Dean's family obviously needs the money. So it's tough. That's right, Lauren. He is synonymous with the 50s. So it's very weird to put him in a 1960s, 70s film. This is a very bad idea. And I told you, the most offensive thing is the film that he's being put in. So bad. All right, so that's the second story of the day. Now, the third story of the day, I like this story. All right, it's a small story. It wasn't big enough for the main poster frame, but I like it. All right, so Ben Affleck, is, working very hard to stay sober. Good for him. I'm a little bit appalled at how the press has been trying to catch him in a slip up. It's like, it's a long road to recovery. Leave the guy alone. So, and like him being on a dating app, Raya, Ben Affleck's just trying to put his life back together. And that includes his career. And he signed on for what I think is an excellent project. Like, you wonder to yourself, what could Ben Affleck do to revive his career after the problems that he had with the DCEU? And, you're worried, I wasn't sure what that movie would be. But I'm sure like Ben Affleck's agents, when this came across their desk, they were like, this is it. So he's going to star in a film called Hypnotic. Talk about being Hitchcock-esque, right? And Robert Rodriguez is directing. Robert Rodriguez could also use a little bit of a career reprisal. I thought Alita was good. I thought it was ridiculous that they didn't finish the film, that they left it so hanging on a cliffhanger. You're like, they're probably never going to get another one. I agree. Jennifer Garner was, I'm sure, a wonderful wife, and she is a saint as an ex-wife. But anyway, Robert Rodriguez is going to direct, and I included that picture of him working on Sin City because when you have a title like Hypnotic or Hypnotique, however they decide to pronounce it, maybe they'll do something really cool with it, right? I think that would be wonderful. So it's about a detective played by Ben Affleck who investigates a series of high-end heists. This sounds fantastic. And it ends up tying in with his missing daughter and a secretive government program. Oh, I love it already. Also, Studio 8 is one of the production companies behind this film. Now, Studio 8 is the company that Jeff Robinov founded. It produces films, but it also finances them. It's a finance production company. Yesterday, with my Marty Scorsese Twitter war, a lot of people didn't understand the difference between a distribution company and a production company. Martin Scorsese has a production company. He doesn't have a distribution company. He doesn't have the ability to actually distribute films. So Studio 8 is primarily a film finance company. It finances films for a lot of other production companies, and also sometimes sometimes Brett Ratner, for instance, had a film finance company that funded Warner Brothers, but now, of course, that all went away after that scandal with Kevin Tsujihara. But Studio 8 also produces some of its own films, largely for Sony. We'll see if this also goes to Sony. Yeah, The Accountant was great. But the person who's behind Studio 8 is Jeff Robinov, who founded it when he was passed over for the gig that he wanted that went to Kevin Tsujihara. Interestingly enough, Jeff Robinov wanted to be the head of all of Warner Brothers Entertainment and previously was the head of the film division, which Toby Emmerich currently is. Brother of Noah Emmerich from The Americans, if you don't know that. So anyway, Jeff Robinov has a very good relationship with Ben Affleck. He was the head of Warner Brothers Films again during Ben Affleck's the highlight of his career, Argo, The Town. He made those films with Jeff Robinov. So this is just really great. Ben Affleck, in a way, is coming home. So I'm very happy about that. So I think this sounds excellent. I hope it is something that pushes the edge of the envelope. Remake Spy Kids. But I think that would be just excellent. And look, Mika, I hope there is a Latin element in this movie. Robert Rodriguez has worked very hard to have that kind of representation, and I hope he continues with it. All right, so those are the 3 stories of the day. It's 4:21. We'll do 10 minutes. You can ask me anything that you would like until 4:31. 4:31, you can ask me anything that you'd like. Oh, Rosa Salazar. Grismeyer, you're right. I thought Rosa Salazar was fabulous as Alita. Very, very pleased with that. Any tea to spill, Sir Charles? I don't have any tea today, I'm afraid. Steven says, can we please discuss how bad the live-action Little Mermaid was? I enjoyed your tweets about it, Steven. I didn't personally care for it. I know some people who liked it. I don't understand them, but they liked it. I thought it was pretty awful. And I thought it was a mistake to keep cutting back to the animated movie. They should have just picked one or the other. Daniel says, what are you looking for from the first Black Widow trailer? I would like to see action. I really want to feel that it has Winter Soldier level action. And if that's the case, then I think we're going to be in good shape. Will R says, has Joker secured a Best Picture nod with crossing $1 billion? Not necessarily. Some people might feel that's its reward. It doesn't need the Best Picture. I think it's definitely a strong contender. Hey, Colton. I think it's definitely a strong contender, but let's not count on anything until it actually happens. Portis 2 says, Grace, have you been reading the new X-Men comics? The quality's gone way down since House and Powers of X. It's funny you say that. I have been reading them. I just bought 2 new ones today, and I would agree with that. I think they're not as well written. I thought what they did to Psylocke was ridiculous, and I thought they did to Kitty Pryde was ridiculous. I did not like the evolution of either of those characters, and I think the art is pretty freaking bad. So I'm going to keep reading, but, I don't know, it's typical Jonathan Hickman, I was surprised that he did as good a job as he did. Jonathan Hickman is like Tom King before Tom King came around. He's very intellectual, he has good ideas, but eventually they fall apart. Pastor Madeline, I did not see Last Christmas yet. I saw it, there was a press screening last night, but I couldn't go because that Batman casting news dropped. But I'm going to see it on Thursday, and I'll review it Friday morning. Mika, I'm upset with Rachel Weisz for being in Black Widow after she trashed The Mummy. Uncool! She and Daniel Craig can start a club of we'd say bad things about the movies that we're in. Z-Star, I thought Queen Latifah was good. But she had a great song, obviously, in Poor Unfortunate Souls. Hard to mess that up, but she did a very nice job. Let's see here. Somebody said there, Edward, visiting New York City for the first time. You got to go to Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island and the World Trade Center. Rockefeller Center is great, Central Park. You're coming here just in time for the holidays, so there's a lot of cool stuff like for shopping. Hudson Yards is a really cool complex. I would check out that stuff. Don't call me Lev. Hey, Lev. Says, Lev tweets me a lot too. Are you worried that there has been no marketing promotion for Godzilla vs. Kong when the movie will come out in 4 months? Well, I have to tell you, people aren't aware of this, it seems. But from what I've heard from people I know actually working on the film, that movie has been moved off that release date. It doesn't have a release date currently. So that's why there's been no promotion for it. Silver Robin says, Grace, what are your thoughts on Anna Diop's Starfire? I personally think she's honoring this character with her own flair. Yeah, I think she's great. I like Anna Diop a lot. She was very good in Us, too. Very different vibe. So I think that shows a lot of range as an actress. I'm not loving Titans at the moment. I think it's kind of gone off a little bit of the rails. I liked the Superboy episode. I thought it was the best episode they've done this season. And now I think, they're at that situation where the team's all separated, and even if only they would talk to each other. I'm hoping that it picks back up before the end of the season. Waffles, we thought about doing a Jumanji meet and greet, right? Let's see how the timing goes. Andrew says, what videos are you planning to make this week? Well, planning, let's see. Sometimes my schedule gets away from me. What I'm planning to do tomorrow is I'm going to review The Good Liar. I'm trying to also review Uncut Gems. I'd like to maybe do a Spider-Verse video if I can think of something I want to say. I want to make sure I have a good thing to add to the conversation. And then on Friday, I'll review Last Christmas. And then, of course, next week, Frozen stuff is happening. What's going on next week? Frozen, the embargo lifts next week. Hold on, that's not where my schedule is for next week. I'm seeing Little Women next Friday. Marriage Story I'm going to see soon. I'll review that. Mandalorian, I'll review that on Tuesday when it drops. That's what's going on right now. The Frozen embargo lifts on Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ryan, I don't like coffee. I don't drink coffee whatsoever. I'm a tea person. I like hot tea, but my favorite is iced tea. It's so delicious. Here. Nina says, how long does it usually take for you to record and edit and upload a video? Well, it depends on the video. If something really let's see, the Colin Farrell story and the Andy Serkis story dropped yesterday at around a little after 5, and I got my video up by 7:30. So I can be really fast if I need to. Trailer reactions can take 30 to 45 minutes. But then for something else, I got to think about it for a while. I have to decide what I want to do, what the angle is. It's, the mood has to strike. It depends. It really depends if I'm working on the clock or not. I'm excited for Disney Plus 2, Dancing Dog 60. When are they going to let us download the app? Meg says, when are we getting the first awards videos? Well, I did a very early awards preview, and also very soon they should be announcing the Golden Globe nominations, at least like in December, because the Golden Globes, of course, are in early January. So we're getting real close to awards season. Nina, I don't go to Starbucks, really. But when I do, it's whatever they call large iced tea. Sergeant Simex says, what software do you use when editing your videos? I use Adobe Premiere. 3 minutes. Disney, I like awards season 2. Usually people aren't that interested in it, but I'm hoping that with Joker this year, people will be more excited. I will review Cats, for sure. Ethan says, what older content on Disney Plus am I the most excited for? The old cartoons. I love them. I really love Donald Duck cartoons in particular, so I'm definitely going to watch those. Let's see here. The Flamebird says, what do you think about Benioff and Weiss admitting not have experience for Game of Thrones? And do you have any added gossip regarding that? I haven't heard anything about them specifically in terms of gossip. I think it shows the importance of attaching yourself to a really good project. And George R.R. Martin did them a fantastic favor when he agreed to make that with them. He could have picked anyone. And also they were smart to think of approaching him. So, a lot of times it's being the right place at the right time. And there is a degree of luck to any career. Silas, I do like Gargoyles. I think that was an excellent animated show. Hugo, I don't know why Sarah Paulson doesn't get any work. It's weird. Line Liar says, Lupita Nyong'o for an Oscar nom for Us or Bust. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? I hope that Universal runs an aggressive campaign for her. Barbie says, do you think we'll get a Wonder Woman trailer for Brazil Comic-Con? I think for sure we will. I want to see Cheetah. That's what I want to see. I think we'll definitely get a teaser. They said the campaign would start in December. That's a great time to release a trailer, and I believe that they will. Nina says, have you ever changed your mind about a movie on a second viewing? Yes, I have. I thought that Captain Marvel was good, but it's become more enjoyable the more times I've seen it. So that's like a good example of it. Maleka, I saw the Invisible Man stills. I love the original Invisible Man is so good, and in fact, it still holds up. I would recommend that you watch it. It's a very old film, but it's very well done. I hope it's good. They've changed the story significantly, although I liked Lee Whannell's upgrade so much that I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Bejo, I don't know if I'm going to review C. Nobody really cares about these Apple TV shows. They're not really doing very well. Emre, as I mentioned on the stream yesterday, I did not enjoy Jack Ryan season 2, and I stopped watching after 2 episodes. Yes, Liam, it is time. Thank you. All right, everybody, thank you for joining me on the Wednesday live stream. If you're a member, there's another stream because there wasn't one on Monday. There'll be another stream tomorrow at 4 p.m. for members only. Everyone else, you can join here every Wednesday. And if you're a member, streams are actually 4 days a week. So have a lovely rest of your afternoon, and I will see you all soon. Bye, everybody. Goodbye. Bye. Got to find the window to log off. Here we go. Hold on.